I'm not gonna get nasty with you, I promise. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna contact you. Hold on a second. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good, I promise. Let me get the Discord. All right, where's Bastiat? Here, there you go. Hey, you there?
I am indeed. How you doing?
How you doing? I was bragging about you today, right?
Oh,
I was saying that because I had people come in here and make claims that were outrageous or slanderous claims about other streamers,
mm-hmm.
and then I would say something like, I was like, where's I think, okay, first of all, I said, I because this I've been streaming off and on all day today, so I'll say,
Yeah.
where's the evidence to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll move the goalposts, and then I was like, see, this is what I don't like. I don't like when you guys come up in here and you start saying that this person is this, or you start making a claim about that and this, that, and the other. And when I ask you for a proof, you move the goalposts. I said, no other. I said, I'm the only one. I said, no, no, no. Let me take that back, because I watched a stream of yours, actually. I watched a stream and I was very, very surprised you did this.
Hmm.
Someone accused Biden of being a pedophile, and you
Yeah.
was and you quickly shut that down.
Yeah.
You said, where did you get this from? Why are you saying that if you don't have any evidence for that? And then they said, I think, whatever they said, it was really stupid, and then you
Yeah.
deleted their comment. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, what? He makes people prove the shit he says.
Well, it was a little beyond that too. It'd be one thing if somebody said Biden's a crook. I mean that word doesn't mean a whole lot by comparison. But when you call somebody a pedophile, that's really that's not something you should be doing unless
Right,
they actually are.
right.
I mean, but just to be slinging that stuff, Joe Biden is infamous. We're taking a lot of pictures that look really creepy, like him like whispering in young
He's
women's
just
ears
creepy
and things
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
he
yeah, and
go
whether
ahead.
now that again creepy, but that is still like that's different from being a pedophile. That's
Way
and that's just the
different.
kind of thing that
I don't even
if you're
like
gonna
Joe
drop a
Biden.
load,
I'm
you
like,
do.
that was even a little too far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly excited about the prospect of President Joe Biden, although I'm going to vote for him over President Trump if it comes to that.
Traitor.
But it's just like it's that's not appropriate no matter who you are. So unless, of course, you're actually talking about a pedophile, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Why
so.
why why are you a stanky globalist?
Well, I think that I think that when you look at the history of the world since World War II. In fact, all right. I know you're gonna yawn. I know you're gonna yawn. I'm gonna try and make this interesting. All right. Look, the U.S. came out of World War II as undoubtedly the most powerful country in the world. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, we had some competitors. We had the British Empire. USSR was coming up there. After World War II, all the colonial empires are gone, right? USSR had the best parts of its country destroyed by the Nazis. The Germans are flattened. British Empire is fallen apart, right? So America is way beyond everyone else. What did the US do after the war? It started setting up these international institutions, right? And on the surface, they look like, kind of almost altruistic things, right? Like the US is saying, okay, we're going to give everybody a voice in the UN, and we're going to give everybody a voice in this NATO alliance, and we're going to set up the international financial system and lower tariffs for everybody. But what did that do? It gave the US an incredible backdoor into every other country in the world through means of these international agreements. Like, in short, international law, international organizations are American organizations by default because we are
Mm-hmm.
just so powerful. We have
And
such
that
sway in
required
the
a
world.
process, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it's
Okay.
like the downside of that is that sometimes the US doesn't
So
win, but on the whole, participating in the system, the US wins
why
far
should
more
we
than it loses.
bypass that process and just open the borders?
Well, oh my God, my fiance is here asking, how do we go from talking about pedophilia to talking about about NATO.
Tell,
And that's, of course, that's, she only heard my side of the conversation.
oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Tell her I called you a stanky
Yeah.
globalist, and that
No,
you're
no, no.
defending it,
She called me a stinky globalist.
and that's how you
So,
get to the.
yeah. So look, I think these international institutions, they help a lot of people too. Like, so I talk about open borders a lot, right?
Right,
And
but you
in a
still
sense,
have,
yeah,
but I. By the way, I don't want to take away. I don't want to expose your
mhm,
defense because I heard you're going to
sure.
be you're going to be having a debate with
Oh, yeah.
Lectrafan.
Yeah, yeah.
When when
Although
when is that?
it's January 8th, should be around I think 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain. So should be good.
Eight
We've got
Eastern. Okay.
yep. So that should be good. In fact, let me triple check that. Make sure I got the
Okay, I'm
right
writing it
time
down.
here. Okay, because let's see here.
That's next Wednesday.
Yep, it is next Wednesday. So that should be a lot of fun. And oh yeah, 6 Mountain, 8 Eastern. Excuse me. So that's what we're doing. So it
Okay.
should be fun.
I
Lecture
don't
is a
want to
good guy.
expose
So
your arguments, but I just because I got to ask this one thing, right?
sure.
If we have a process, everything you just stated about what
Hmm.
happened after World War II is true.
Yeah.
We have a process, okay?
Yes.
Why negate that process
Hmm.
and just
Hmm.
open our borders willy
Right.
nilly?
Well, let me say two things. First of all, I don't mind exposing any of this because it's probably like nothing
He's
new
going
is
to,
really
you
going to
know
come
what?
up that I
He's
haven't
good. Let me
said.
tell you, lecture
But
fan, you and him are born, but you guys got your facts together.
I mean,
I
it's part of the job, right? I mean, you got to do that. Look, when you screw up and you're an attorney, nobody gives you much leeway
That's
for it.
true. That's true.
You
That's
got
true.
like you're doing when you're talking about this kind of stuff, and somebody says, "Hey, you're wrong." Oh, well, okay. But if you've already told people I'm a lawyer, right? I mean, you're basically trying to boost your credibility there, but by just mentioning it, right? I mean, what am
Right.
I?
I
That's
agree.
part of why I mention it on Twitch, right? It's also kind of fun. It's something. It's a good conversation starter. But doing that comes with like this, like I guess, baseline credibility standard. So when you're wrong, then you are like triple wrong. It's like fuck you, you fake lawyer, you full
True.
of it,
True. Yeah, I see
So
people giving you shit. They call you a Wikipedia lawyer. I'm like, God
oh yeah.
damn.
Well, I don't for example, I when I was streaming to much smaller audiences, one time I played a video of me in court, which I thought was interesting. But then I was like, wait a minute,
Didn't you
I
reveal
basically am
yourself on there? Isn't that doxing
I hid
yourself?
my name. I hid my name, but I
Oh,
realized that by
okay.
doing that, I'm basically still giving you all the tools you need to figure out who I am. So rather than do that, I just now I just ask people to take it on faith, and you
Yeah,
either do
you
or
ain't
you
got
don't.
nothing
I
to
mean, it doesn't
prove.
really
Fuck these
matter.
people.
We don't really talk like we don't ever talk like in the sense of giving anybody legal advice. We talk about it pretty high level anyway. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anybody could talk about this stuff, and I
Mm-hmm.
think I like just talking about being a lawyer as a conversation starter for the most part. I
Mm-hmm.
never, at least I strive to never be like, hey, I'm a lawyer. That means I got special information that you don't. I
Right.
really try to avoid that because at the end of the day, laws are stuff that I feel really strongly that everybody should be able to have a say in thinking about, I mean, that's different from practicing law, but like everybody I think should be free to form an opinion on what they think the law is and should not be mocked for it by somebody saying, well, you're not a lawyer. Well, but we are all citizens in a democratic republic, right? A republic of laws, right?
Constitutional republic.
Well, I mean, I agree, but it's all, it's all the same,
And
same thing for the most part.
and one more thing.
Yeah.
The AR stands for Armalite rifle,
Oh,
not
okay.
assault rifle.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Armalite rifle.
Yes.
As a neoliberal, I'm really sad that I mistook the branding there of the Armalite rifle. That sounds like a brand term or brand name, right? Armalite rifle.
That's the name. That's what AR stands for. And people, you kept saying, well, the reason why they want to ban assault rifles, I was like, assault rifles are banned. You know what I'm saying? AR stands for Armalite. It doesn't stand
Okay.
for assault rifle.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Armalite rifles. Looks like Armalite is indeed an American small arms engineering company. Oh, they're not around anymore, though. So at least I didn't mess up their branding.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the open stuff, so you asked why there's a process. Why circumvent the process?
Yeah,
right?
you just want to open
Well,
up the borders all willy-nilly like a
Okay.
globalist.
All right. Well, I'll tell you right now. Actually, do you have time for like a 2-minute video by with Ronald Reagan?
No.
No.
Okay. Ronald Reagan. I like Ronald Reagan.
Let me just pull this up because I think you'll like this. I think it covers a lot of what. All right, I'll send this to you, and then if you want to play it on the stream, I think folks would like it, just kind of as an intro to what I think. So I just dropped the link.
What year is this? Are you?
It's from 1980. It's a debate between him and George H.W. Bush back when back before Reagan was president, when he was running.
Was he a Republican or a Democrat during this time?
No, he was a Republican. Reagan was a Democrat. I believe you may have been mistaken when you said Reagan was a Democrat when he was the governor of California. He was a Republican then. He was a Democrat earlier in his life when he said, like when he was, an actor and all that.
I'm sorry, Bastiat. Oh, you got to give it to me and hold on. Let me hold on. You got to drop the link again because I got links blocked.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll send it to you personally.
I'll
send it to your Discord.
Yeah, send it to me in Discord.
Okay. Yep. That's probably good policy to disable links.
He was definitely Republican there. I can see his. I can see. Okay.
Personally, I don't disable links, but then again, the bad side of not disabling links is that today, for example, somebody was sending links to a video called "Top 10 Things I've Shoved Up My Butt." Well, okay. Thanks for sharing that.
See, that's the reason why I don't do it for so many reasons, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, I think when I first started allowing links, people were linking to socialist and communist propaganda. And I was like, oh, I'm about to shut this shit down immediately. And then I had one person. This is before Alex Jones. This was in 2017 when I came to Twitch for the first time. This is before Alex Jones was banned. They also linked it to some a false flag bullshit. It was like, this is a false flag, and they linked it to Alex Jones shit. And that after that link, I said, you know what? No more links. You people are not allowed to have links into the chat anymore. And that's when I stopped it. Okay, so let me go ahead.
Hey, I get what you're coming from. I typically let the links go, but I will say that if somebody drops some Alex Jones false flag stuff, I'd probably at least delete that because that's pretty tasteless.
All right, so let's go ahead and play this. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Yes, my name is David Grossberg, and I'd like to know, do you think the children of illegal aliens should be allowed to attend Texas public schools free, or do you think that their parents should pay for their education?
Who are you addressing that to?
I think you're first in this.
He was looking right at you. I said he was. Look, I'd like to see something done about the illegal alien problem that would be so sensitive and so understanding about labor needs and human needs that problem wouldn't come up. But today, if those people are here, I would reluctantly say I think they would get whatever it is that they're, what the society is giving to their neighbors. But the problem has to be solved. The problem has to be solved because as we have kind of made illegal some kinds of labor that I'd like to see legal, we're doing two things. We're creating a whole society of really honorable, decent, family-loving people that are in violation of the law, and secondly, we're exacerbating relations with Mexico. The answer to your question is much more fundamental than whether they attend Houston schools, it seems to me. I don't want to see a whole,
so
if they're
Bush
living here, I don't
dodges
want
the
to see a
question
whole
a little.
thing of 6- and 8-year-old kids.
Even though he's dodging it, the shit he said so far, I'm like, what the hell?
I don't know what you mean, but Reagan takes the deeper approach in a minute.
All right.
Being made, one totally uneducated and made to feel that they're living with outside the law. Let's address ourselves to the fundamentals. These are good people, strong people. Part of my family is a Mexican.
Oh, no, he didn't.
I agree that they're good people. They're strong people. 100% I agree with that. But I will say the part where he said, part of my family is Mexican.
This is bullshit. He's virtue. White people always like the virtuous.
It's like saying, well,
great-great-great-great-great-grandfather's a black man.
Well, I think he was probably referencing Columba Bush, Jeb's wife. But at the same time, I think it's like when somebody today is like, well, you know what? I have a black friend, so boom.
Yeah, that's all that shit is. Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so then Reagan comes in real good. I like him.
All right, here we go. We're about to go to Reagan.
I add to that, I think the time has come that the United States and our neighbors, particularly our neighbor to the south, should have a better understanding and a better relationship than we've ever had. And I think that we haven't been sensitive enough to our size and our power. They have a problem of 40 to 50% unemployment. Now, this cannot continue without the possibility arising with regard to that other country that we talked about, of Cuba and what it is stirring up, of the possibility of trouble below the border, and we could have a very hostile and strange neighbor on our border. Rather than making them or talking about putting up a fence, why don't we work out some recognition of our mutual problems, make it possible for them to come here legally with a work permit, and then while they're working and earning here, they pay taxes here. And when they want to go back, they can go back, and they can cross and open the border both ways by understanding their problems. This is the only safety valve right now they have with that unemployment that probably keeps the lid from blowing off down there. And I think we could have a fine relationship, and it would solve the problem you mentioned also.
I am so shocked that he said this. However, I do have this is wow. This is my response to that, okay?
Sure.
We have now been giving Mexico millions upon millions of dollars and South America to help with their economy. As a matter of fact, Mexico's economy is doing way better now than it was during Reagan's years. So there's no need for the people who are coming from Honduras, from Guatemala, from Venezuela to bypass Mexico and come to America when they have the same culture in Mexico. They have basically the same language or similar language, and the economy is doing much better in Mexico. So we don't have that hostile type of environment with Mexico now than it during this time.
Well, let me just say this. First of all, in terms of the culture, I think that most people don't immigrate for the sake of, like, joining a culture or leaving a culture for that matter. I think they primarily immigrate for economic reasons. And then second to that is like political reasons. Like people who, who emigrated from Cuba to the United States were leaving the communist regime, and people who come, from Central America or Mexico to the United States are primarily coming here for economic reasons. Not always true one way or another, but I think that's primarily the big reason, economic reasons.
Okay,
so
hold on. Let me respond to both the culture and the Cubans. Okay, culture is a factor because, and I'm speaking to somebody who lived in Germany, okay? Yeah. What made it easier for me in Germany is I adjusted to the culture. I learned the language. By the way, they don't make you learn the language, but I love Deutsch. It sounds really aggressive, and I loved it and I learned it. So therefore, it is more easy to understand that, hey, these are the laws. This is the way things work. I lived in a very religious area of Germany, which is in Bayern, where you don't do much of anything, including mow your grass or wash clothes on Sunday. So even though that was against what I was believing in, I didn't want to upset the neighbors. Therefore, I didn't want to cause any confusion. So culture, even though we have a variety of cultures here, understand that that certain type of cultures with a lot of drinking that is in their culture tends to cause a lot of drunk driving. So I also look at it deeper than, hey, what's more passable in Mexico with certain cultures that comes with laws here in America are more tolerated in Mexico than it is in America. And with the Cubans, that's different. The Cubans were leaving communism. By the way, I love Cubans. Okay. Now, why do you think I love Cubans?
So they're leaving communism, and when they come here, they tend to be very anti-communist.
And
I don't know. What else?
They're registered Republicans.
So, all right. Yeah, no, that's true. Not all, but most.
So I actually had absolutely most, because they understand how it is, and they're not looking for handouts. These are hardworking people. If we were accepting hardworking people and them not dipping into our SSN and the welfare or the food stamps and everything that we normally that American society has put together through their tax dollars, they They didn't contribute shit.
Well, let me ask you a couple things about that. So suppose, all right, as far as the welfare thing goes, and you've got a lot of things here, so I want to get them one at a time.
Yeah, I don't mean to
Welfare.
stack them, so feel free
that's
to.
okay.
Yeah,
It's all right. I took notes. All right, welfare. Suppose I could prove to you, and I'm not saying this is 100% true, but suppose I could prove to you that they add more benefit to the economy, including to the tax chest, than they take away in terms of welfare. Would you still be upset? Well, not upset is kind of a derogatory term here. Would you still
irritated?
Would you still be irritated that some of them are taking welfare if I could prove to you that they are contributing more money to the economy, including to the tax base, than they're taking out? Would that still bother you?
If you
that
could prove to me that they are contributing more to the percentage of taxes that are, which I don't even know that number, that is going to SSN, SSI, and to welfare and all the other social programs we have, absolutely, I'll change my position.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So I'll look into that because I've got to do that anyway. I'm pretty sure that when you're talking about immigrants who are here legally, there's no question that they add more than
I'm talking about the illegal
they
ones.
pay income tax too.
Yeah,
illegal ones
that's
that may be different because they can't, they can't pay income tax because they're illegal, right?
Right.
So that's the one. Okay. Now, immigration and crime and alcohol. You mentioned, for example, drunk driving.
Right.
I can empirically demonstrate that immigrants, including illegal immigrants, again, apart from the original crime, which is getting here illegally, commit less crime on average than people who are, born here. Right now, there are some people who say, I don't care how less crime it is, any single crime, they shouldn't have been here in the first place. I mean, that's another issue.
You would have to be more specific. I totally agree with that because that's so broad.
The one thing you might be able to say is that in some areas there are exceptions to the rule. And I might even concede that. But when we're talking about immigration as a whole, immigrants who come to this country from, immigrants who come here legally and illegally commit less crime than people who are born in the United States. I can prove that to you.
I don't disagree with that because what I'm telling you is we're talking about a specific immigration. We're talking about Hispanics from Mexico and South America. And these people are disproportionately represented in drunk driving homicides, accidents, and offenses.
I'll check out those specific, crimes and see if I can get some more information on that. Because again, I'm talking only general. I've never looked at like specific crimes. There may be some,
and that's undisputable what you're saying. But I'm talking about something more specific.
What you're saying, I'll check that out. I'll try and get some more specific information.
Okay,
and hopefully that'll come out on the debate next week.
Yeah.
The other thing that I want to say is there are two things here. One I want to say to you, and then one I want to say to somebody in your chat by the name of Mr. Milk and Honey. So the first thing I want to say to you is, to me, when we look at these people who you were saying, well, why don't they just stop in Mexico, for example? When they stop in Mexico, what they're ultimately doing is, for themselves, maybe there probably are some people who stop in Mexico for the reasons you described. I mean, I have no doubt. I mean, we're talking about large numbers, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. Right? Some people probably do. Most of them choose to come here. And I think they choose to come here primarily for economic reasons. And if we think about them, if you try and imagine things from their perspective, why would you, for example, stop in Mexico if you could get better economic outcomes going to the United States, especially if you've got a family of some kind? And again, this is an issue that I understand Americans, many Americans don't care about. They're not us, not our problem. But at least when we're thinking about the immigrants, I think it's easy to understand why they'd want to be here, because this is the best place to be in the world for good economic outcomes, especially, almost the best place in the world. Some of the Norwegian countries occasionally, beat us on one standard or another. Some of the oil states in the Gulf do, but by and large, this is the place to be if you want to improve your economic outcomes, especially for immigrants from Latin America. So I think that we're missing out economically.
Are we really?
We are. And I can prove that to you too. I can prove that to you too. No, seriously. Now, when you talk about, here's the thing. It depends on what you're talking about. There are always, with any policy, winners and losers, right? When you cut taxes, for example, most people probably benefit, but some people don't. For example, if the government now doesn't have the money to pay for some or another program, right? Or some people will benefit more than others. Like the last Trump tax cut, people who had more money benefited more than people who had less money. Indisputable. You can acknowledge that, or you can acknowledge it's a good policy or bad policy, but that happened, right? Now, so there are winners and losers out of just about every policy. Immigration has more winners than losers by far, including among Americans. But there are some people who lose out.
Are we
I think
talking?
that when
Hold
we're
on, hold
thinking
on.
about immigration
I don't
policy,
want you to conflate illegal immigration with
legal,
legal
sure.
immigration.
But I wouldn't be willing to say that even with illegal. It's just that my goal
and
would
that's
basically
where I'm
be,
challenging you on. I'm like, here's the thing.
well,
I believe that I'm not saying shut it down for good.
I know you're not.
I want the best. Okay.
Yeah.
I want the doctors out of Nigeria. Okay.
Yeah.
I want the
We've
scientists
got
out
them.
of Germany.
Nigerian Americans
Yeah.
actually per capita do better than native born white Americans.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I also want I want the engineers out of China. Okay, I want the best out of these countries.
Sure.
We don't need more people of low skill workers. Okay, we have enough of the uneducated.
We have enough of the.
I know that I'm a typical
Yeah.
I'm a typical right winger, so you should be used
I'm
to.
listening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, look, I'll say this. It's easy to say that we want the best, and of course, the best. I think we should certainly make it easier for the quote unquote best. People who have skills to get here, right? In fact, I think we should make it easier for them to get here, and I think there's almost no argument against that among anybody. I've never heard anybody saying
they don't appreciate
let's
it.
protect. I've never heard anybody say.
Do you think your fiance would want you if you was easy?
Oh, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. And I mean,
I'm
people
saying,
don't. You said you wanted to make it easier to get here. I'm like, no, don't make it easy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying the demand for entry into the United States would be lower if it was easy to get here? Like you're saying these. Okay, I don't believe that. That's not the reason people want to come here. They want to come here because this is one of the best countries in the world, if not the best.
We are the best.
That's why people want to come here.
We are the best, and if you want the best, you need to raise the standards. Shouldn't make it easier to get in here.
I really want to push back on that notion that this country became the best by bringing in
push back
the
on me, baby.
Best.
Let's do this.
Think about the history of immigration in this country. It's overwhelmingly not,
exactly.
the quote-unquote best. It's actually probably
we accepted hardworking people from these countries. They didn't come here and
why did they come here though? They didn't come here because they had it made in their countries of origin. Exactly, they came here for better opportunities.
And they did something though. You know what though? Come on, let's look at the history. These people did not come here and depend upon the social programs that we as Americans contribute to.
That's true. But
I want those type of immigrants.
Sure. If that's the issue though, at that point we could talk about, all right, so when people come here from other countries, should they get social welfare programs at all? Should there be some period of time of delay or something like that?
And you know what? Hold on.
We can think about the ways in which we'd handle immigration policy. What I'm against is the notion of immigrants harm the country. Because I can demonstrate economically they don't. The ways that they harm the country arguably are they cost more in welfare than they contribute to welfare. And this is again illegal immigrants.
Right. I want us to make sure we're talking about illegal immigrants, not
even then.
Legal.
Even
I am against these illegals.
Yeah.
I don't want because you broke the law to come into my country.
But that's
Therefore,
the thing.
you have no respect for my country. So you need to get the fuck out. That's how I feel.
I have to say, I don't know how you could say you have no respect for the country if you are willing to go through so much just to get the chance to work here. Because at the end of the day, that to me is a testament
if you're going to break the law,
faith in the country.
If you're going to break the law, that makes you a criminal.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right now.
And I don't want, we already got enough criminals as it is. I don't need more criminals here.
The question is, I don't think that's fair.
Oh, God,
you're right
such
that they're
liberal. Oh my God. What about the children? Oh my God. Oh no.
All right. Here's the other thing. So CT MAGA is saying, then come here legally. Right now, the process to get here legally is so convoluted, so expensive, so difficult that if you again put yourself in their shoes, it's fine to say it's not our problem. It's fine to say that, but there are two things about that. One, put yourself in their shoes. If somebody's going to tell you, you could come to the United States and improve your life, live in safety and prosperity, and add to the wealth of the country by getting a job. Yeah, you could do that, or you could respect the law and stay home and live in squalor. I mean, come on, what kind of choice is that we need to
CT
put to
Mega
somebody?
said you can see him adjusting his tie.
All right. The other thing I want to say. I like Veldrain's compromise here, by the way. If you wanna build the wall in exchange, I don't think the wall is particularly useful, but I would damn sure take that wall if it meant we could get some more immigration in this country and we could legalize some of the people who are already here. So I go for that. But one other point I want to say that I think is very important here,
Go ahead.
and it's the freedom interest, which is to say, one, that at the end of the day, I know Milk and Honey said. Let me read this up.
Wow, you really, I don't even pay attention to my chat when I'm talking to somebody one-on-one.
What are you doing?
I never do that. I don't. If you looking at my, if my video, you see I'm not even looking at the chat until you say something. But I mean, no, I'm not saying don't do it, Bastiat. I'm just saying that's a bad habit I have that I should start doing. I don't ignore the chat when I'm talking to somebody. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Mr. Milganite says, I'd rather a job go to my cousins in my community than it go to some random Mexican. Now, first of all, I think that's a pretty unfortunate way to say that. But beyond that, though, at the end of the day, in terms of a hiring relationship and a free society, who gets that job should be between the employer and the employee and pretty well nobody else. I mean, I don't want to open the borders to violent criminals. And I think, certain political extremists, of course, they won't terrorists or anything like that. But by and large, people who want to come here and work and don't have some kind of, I guess, communicable, disease and haven't got a history of violence should be able to come in here and work and live and add to the country. And I don't think it matters where they come from, their culture or anything, because at the end of the day, one of the things that makes the United States the greatest and most unique country in the world. I know that Milk and Honey mentioned Japan. Japan only lets in the Japanese, right? Well, that's because Japan, I'd say, doesn't have enough faith in its society to imagine that it can absorb these people and basically make them Japanese. But America has done that historically with very few exceptions to just about anybody here. So it's just... at the end of the day, I think that's the wrong approach. I think the job should go to whoever the people who create the jobs want to give them to.
See, here's why I will never be for illegals coming in here. I'm gonna share. You don't know this part of my life, but my followers do, but you don't. So I'm gonna clue you in.
And I just want to say, I agree with Sassanex. Let the corporations take advantage of illegal immigrants. Just protect them by making them legal.
He's quoting you.
I know. I basically agree. Just make them legal so they can take advantage of them like they take advantage of any of us.
If they come in here illegally, they should be punished and they should go to jail.
No, that's a different question though than corporations taking advantage of them.
Oh well. So, anyway, I lived in Germany for 5 years, okay, before I can actually become a resident there legally. Now, you do know you can go to any of these EU countries and stay there for 3 months without a visa, yeah? But
is that any American can do that?
Any American, sorry, any American can come into Sweden, cool. Germany, France. You can stay there for 3 months without a visa. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
After that 3 months, you got to get the fuck out, or you got to get a visa. All right. So here's what I did. I wanted to live there, and I had 2 jobs there. Both of them are self-employed. And in order to be there, they wanted to make sure you wasn't on their welfare system, which is called Hartz-IV. All right. And to prove that, first of all, let's talk about all the shit I had to go through just to be a resident. I had to come in there with a criminal record. My criminal history, which I don't have any. I don't have a criminal history, right? But I had to come in there with a oh my gosh. I know you're not this type of lawyer, but you have to go to the embassy to get your criminal record or all your American papers legally transferred to the German version. And it's almost like an affidavit, but it's a different certified way of proving that these records have been legally transferred by somebody who speaks fluent English and German. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I had to I had to pay for
immigration stuff is intense. Immigration lawyers make bank.
Oh my God, they do. They made a lot of money off of that, off of me. So I had to show that I was not a criminal. I didn't have a criminal record. I also had to show I wasn't sickly. I had to take a thorough STD Okay.
What? To get into Germany, they made you do an STD test?
Well, here's the thing. Okay. I had a health center where where we were working closely with medical doctors at the time. Now, I'm not. The thing about it is that but see, I wasn't the only one. That goes for all other people, all other Americans. If you were not affiliated with the military, or your job didn't bring you over there, and you came over there on your own accord, which is very rare, everybody was supposed to bring an STD test as well as your health. You had to bring a complete health examination, and you had to get health insurance when you was there. You had to get a health insurance when you was there in Germany.
Well, I think that's part of their universal coverage system, though. In Germany, is like it's semi-private, semi-public. Like
this
it's
is
not.
True. That's true. It is.
Yeah.
This is true. But still, they made me. I didn't get it for free though. I didn't get it for free, and I had to have 3,000 euros, or was it? It may have been 2,000, 3,000 euros in the bank, in a German bank account. And the last thing is, I had to have an apartment or a roommate where I was staying legally in Germany. All of these things had to be, and also proof that I was making money and I was owning a business, so they can give me a tax number, so they can charge me on those high ass taxes. I mean, ask me how much my taxes was. I'll tell it to you. 43% tax. 43% tax.
Those Germans like the tax.
Okay. And so I had to do all of that in order to get my residency. So you understand that if I, as an American, which I'm the best, we are from the best, Germany put me through all of that shit just to turn around and let Syrian refugees to come in willy-nilly and give them all this handouts. I was salty about that. And of course, I left in 2016. So of course, that's the reason why I have the attitude I have. You're not going to come into my country just all willy-nilly and break the law. I didn't break the law to go into Germany. I followed all their 101 rules. I also learned the language, which was not demanded upon me. I assimilated. I was not a noose. I was an asset to their country. I was not a liability. And you just want to open the borders to people who want to be liabilities to this country and don't want to assimilate into American culture. I don't want these people here.
Well, all right. So I know you don't want them here. And I respect the notion of trying to, trying to be a part of the country in which you are in, right? What do you feel? How do you feel about the notion of, suppose we let anybody in who had clear fluency of the English language? Do you think that would be enough?
No, that would not be enough. They can't be.
So what? Like, is there a standard of like you've proven yourself ready for assimilation?
Yes.
That we could meet, because here's my goal. Tree. My goal is to avoid the subjective decisions of the United States government. I want to make it as easy for people to flow once they meet certain standards that and who knows what those might be. I mean, again, I'm not talking about no borders here, but I do want to minimize. I want to try and get to where we've got with goods. Goods can cross borders for the most part with no tariffs. President Trump's trying to change that, I think, to our detriment. But I want to get people to that level too, where they can cross borders just about that easily. So what could an immigrant be like where you would say, all right, I don't need to know anything else, you're in?
All right. First of all, they definitely have to, they have to speak the English language. Okay. They have to understand the things on the citizenship question they have to understand our legal system. Okay. That is a must. They must understand the laws of the land. All right. Also, they must not be dependent on any form or fashion upon our social programs.
Yeah.
Okay. No handouts. You come up here, you work, you pay taxes, and this, that, and the other. Now, I need to understand, this is talking about people coming here legally, or is it illegal?
Well, in my universe, I guess I'm imagining way less illegal immigration, because it would be so much easier to get here legally. So, I mean,
my
I guess it
God,
would
this
still
easier
exist.
stuff.
I mean, I guess it would still exist to some degree, but I'm trying to basically say, like, like, if you take my earlier example, if we let in anybody who knows English, maybe somebody right now who is willing to, to cross the border legally, might say, all right, I'll hold off and I'll learn English first so that I can get in legally. You know what I mean? Like, if we can make it easier to get in legally, probably fewer people would try and get in illegally.
What
You know
are
what I mean?
what are your standards for coming in here easy?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I mean, I'm comfortable with a language
Just the
requirement.
language, that's it?
I mean,
No,
I'm open to talk about other stuff.
no,
Because
no.
here's the thing. People in the chat are asking, why do you want to encourage it, boss? Two reasons. One, because I can demonstrate the economic benefit of immigration to the whole country, beyond a doubt. Again, there are winners and losers in every policy, but there's so many more winners with immigration than there are losers that I think the country benefits by far. So that's one thing. Two, and this is not a meme. All right. So
Get ready, chat.
China has a population of 1.5 billion people. They're our biggest rival, our biggest threat. They are the enduring challenge to freedom in the world in the 21st century. And we have 327 million people. They outnumber us 5-1, Tree. How the hell are we going to keep up with them as the century goes on? We need more people. Plain and simple. For national security reasons, for economic wealth, we've got all the room in the world.
Wait a minute. You think that we are strong in numbers only?
We are strong we're strong in a lot of ways, but of course, more Americans
exactly.
will make us even stronger.
We don't have to have a gazillion people in our country to be the best.
We're the
best. We're the best. Even if China has they have more weaker, very obedient slaves. You know what I love about. I'm gonna have to go to the movie 300. You seen that movie? You seen it?
Tree, look, I loved 300, but the Spartans do eventually lose.
Leonidas went up to Xerxes. What is his name?
Xerxes. Yeah.
Xerxes, and he says, "Yes, you have many. What did he say? You have many people.
Slaves,
you have there you go. You have many slaves, but very few soldiers."
That's true. That's true.
Can I get an amen? Said, and guess what? He beat their asses for several days, man.
For several days, but eventually the communists win.
Because he had a traitor.
I know he had a traitor
there. But see, that's the thing. That's America, baby. We got a lot of soldiers. We don't have slaves over here. Okay?
I know that we certainly punch above our population
China is all about
size.
slave shit. You know what I'm saying? Them people over there, they hungry. All we got to do is offer them some. We offer them some food and this, that, and the other, and they come over here and they'll fuck them up.
Well, let me ask you two things. First, or let me say two things. One, keep in mind during the Cold War, the Soviet Union and us were almost neck and neck with population. They were a little larger, but for the most part, we were neck and neck in the Cold War. So it was a pretty even punch there. I also want to say, while Pulf Nicholson is saying illegal, nobody's against immigration, it's illegal. Why do you keep leaving that word out? Because ultimately right now I want to make what is currently illegal immigration basically legal. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to leave it out. It's just, that's the thing.
He's open borders.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not 100%, but pretty much. So I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say with that. One more thing with China. Let me ask you a question for the sake of consistency.
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine that we said, all right, look, we're not going to open our borders to the whole world like that limp-wristed left-winger Bastiat wants to do, but we'll open our borders to all the authoritarian countries in the world so the people who want to be free can come here. We'll basically do for what we did with Cuba for all of the other countries that can demonstrate, similar level of oppression. How do you feel about that? Just so that every person in the world who lives under oppression could know in the back of their mind, you know what? My country tries to clamp down on my freedom. I have somewhere to escape to.
Because I told you I like Cubans.
But don't you think a lot of these people would vote Republican too? I mean, suppose, like, for example, we allowed...
I haven't looked at the statistics on that. I haven't looked at the statistic. Okay. I have to look at Cuba.
Yeah, sure.
I just know Cubans are they overwhelming majority will register as Republicans.
If I could prove to you, and again, this is so out there, but suppose I could prove to you that people fleeing from communist China would come here and, overwhelmingly they'd become Republicans. Suppose I could prove that to you. I'm not saying I can necessarily, but suppose I could. If I could, of course, China's a much bigger country than Cuba, so a lot more people would be coming here. Would you feel any different? Or is it just China's still too many people?
I mean, that's too many people.
Doesn't matter, even if they're going to be Republicans. Doesn't matter. Too many people.
See,
Cuba's okay because it's small, but China's too big.
Hell yeah, China too big.
Right. So if you live in slavery under communism, you better hope you live somewhere. You better hope you live in a tiny country, because otherwise you're not getting in the USA.
I'm just very biased for Cubans.
Well, I'm just saying. Suppose I could demonstrate.
That's just too many people coming from China over here. Them people have lots of babies.
Well, again, I don't view that as a negative at all. I think that's a strength. But
we don't need to turn America into China.
We're not. That's the fundamental thing where I think you're mistaken, and where I think, with respect, the people in the chat are mistaken. This country is not going to be assimilated into anything else. This country is the most assimilating country in the history of the world.
When did they stop the one-child thing over there in China? What year did they stop that?
They stopped it a few years ago, and
and they still not having enough babies.
Well, now here's the thing. What they did in China was they were trying to I think they implemented the policy in the 70s, maybe early 80s. And what happened with it was they were trying to bring down the population, right?
Right.
Well, they ended up skewing the population to be overwhelmingly male compared to females.
True.
Because especially in rural China, just boys were valued more highly than girls.
Right.
So there's a lot of tragedies, where girls are basically killed, or abortion based on a sex selective abortion, or in some areas where the local communist apparatchik was especially oppressive, they do forced abortions.
Right.
So, it's pretty brutal.
Right.
So they finally repealed one-child policy, but the population growth has already pretty well crashed. And in China, it seems like they'll have about 20 more years of good times before the one-child policy catches up, and their country ages much.
Is that why you asked me that question in reference to China?
Not particularly. I mean, I just mentioned it because China's a communist country. I have to say, I just really want to push back on what Mr. Milk and Honey just said, where he said, Bastiat, they voted in, presumably the Chinese voted in and acquiesced to communism at every turn. They wanted this. I don't care. I don't think the people of China wanted communism. They were conquered by Mao, who was armed with Soviet weapons. It was a takeover, not a liberation. It was the people of China have suffered under communism more than probably any other people have suffered under any other regime in the history of the world, just based on the brutality of the regime, the size of the country, and the length of time they've had in power. So the people of China are victims of the communist regime. They're not acquiescing to it in any way.
But I have to get back to you using them as an example. Here's my thing. I don't like when liberals focus on helping everyone else but our own people.
Yeah.
We have a lot of veterans. We have a lot of homeless. We have a lot of mentally unstable people in America.
Sure.
And you guys are like opening the borders without even dealing with the problems we have here in our own country.
I know that there are a lot of people who there are people in the chat saying, prove the economic value of immigration. And again, I look forward to doing that on the 8th when I got on.
He can't listen. I'm not even paying attention to the chat. Listen, guys, y'all leave Bastiat alone. Okay. Leave him alone. Listen, we're all going to watch the debate next Wednesday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be finished with my because actually that'll be great because my news show on YouTube would have been finished, so I will definitely send my audience over here to watch.
Sure.
But the chat, I just want y'all to let them know we're not gonna have him, practice. Well, he's already practiced. He's debating lecture fan. He's debating lecture fan next Wednesday. We are gonna come and watch. So come to his channel or come to lecture fan's channel and watch them both. Okay. And we'll see him defend these views here. It's just that, two lawyers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so, It's a lawyer
Lecture
fight.
fan,
Yeah.
the number one lawyer on Twitch. So
Yeah, it's going to be a lawyer fight. So he's just here because, basically he's just defending himself because I called him,
Mhm.
what did I call you?
Filthy, stinky globalist.
I called him a stinky globalist.
Yeah.
So he's here to defend that position against my, me calling him that. And that's why we're talking about it. So we're just going to go ahead and get off because you guys are getting pretty triggered off of it.
Last thing I'll say, just to respond to your point, and then I'll let you get back to Minecraft. Is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is we can do both. I want us to take care of our veterans and our homeless, and there's no reason that, for example, we have to pick and choose to help one or the other, because at the end of the day, I'm not proposing open borders because I want to help the world. That's just icing on the cake. I believe that we can empirically prove that this will help the United States of America, and that is my main goal. I don't call myself a nationalist because I think these days especially, it's got too many bad connotations. I'm definitely a proud patriot of this country. I love this country with all my heart, and I think these policies will make this country even stronger and greater in the next century to come. So that's why I speak for them, not because I want to help the world. That's just, again, icing on the cake.
Do you think you give a false impression of a conservative with your flag?
Maybe, but I don't feel like it's fair for anybody to like. It might come across that way. In fact, a lot of people, because Twitch skews so heavily left, look at me and conclude that I'm not a conservative, but that I'm more like a Nazi, like a Nick Fuentes type.
Oh, hell no, you ain't nothing like that old crazy Nazi ass crazy man.
But the look, I mean,
Nick
it's unfair to the extent that like a suit and a flag is conservative. I don't think either of us should want those things to be seen as conservative. They should be seen as, well, at least the flag.
Well, the left hates this country. The left hates what America is all about. They hate my flag. That's one of the. I mean,
I don't think most of them do. I don't think most of them do.
Yeah, the majority of them do. And since the majority of them don't like it, then we'll claim it as a conservative location. We'll symbol.
I think that
we'll claim it as the flag will be claimed as a conservative symbol. I have no problem with it. I'm like, damn right, I'm a right winger. You see my
I don't
flag?
like that though. If that's the case, it makes it harder for this country to be united in any sense. And at the end of the day, we all got to live together. I mean, what is that Martin Luther King said? We didn't all get here on the same ship, but right now we're all in the same boat. So, I mean, I like that. I like that quote. I think the flag should be something we can all celebrate. I'm not saying that conservatives shouldn't use it, of course. I'm just saying that I should be able to use it too, even though I'm not a conservative.
Well, you know what? We'll give you license.
Well, I don't need your license. I appreciate it. All right, Trey. It has been an absolute pleasure talking with you as always.
All right, Bastiat. Bastiat. I would definitely send my YouTube audience to come watch your debate with Lecture Fan next Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the side of Lecture Fan, so I wish you luck because I think he's going to tear you up. But either way, thank you so much for coming in and talking with me. It's been a great. We should basically do this again on an official matter one day. In the near future. Okay.
I do Sundays through Thursdays, and I know you said Sunday's your big day, so we can definitely do that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much, Tree, and good chatting with you and everybody in the chat. Have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Bastiat, y'all. Wasn't that? You guys are so mean. I wasn't even paying attention to half the shit y'all saying in the chat. Y'all should be more respectful to our guests. You mean old... I don't feel like calling y'all names today. I'm so out of it. Y'all need to show him some love, okay? Bastiat is nice. He's a nice globalist. Even though he's a stinky globalist, a poo-poo head globalist, he's still a globalist and we should love him. Okay? We love him nonetheless. So y'all give some hearts. Look, let me give some hearts. Y'all put some hearts for... There we go. I'm put some hearts for Bastiat. Okay, here we go. Let's see. For Bastiat. There. See? There go my heart. See? All right, y'all see that January the 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, but we love him the same, okay? All right, Bastiat, have a good night. Enjoy your night. Okay, there you go. See, that's right. See, y'all can be nice when you want to. Y'all can be nice when you want to. There you go. Give him some love. There you go. That's what I want to see. Y'all so used to being mean because I was mean to you earlier.